10.3, the employer's payroll taxes. So now we're going to look on the side of the employer, not the employee, where we've been figuring out our paychecks before. Now we're going to see what the employer does to pay you. So for an employer, they have to find the total withholding tax for all employees for the pay period. They have to find the Social Security tax and Medicare tax for all the employees for the 3 periods. Multiply by 2 to include the employer's portion. And then you add Social Security, Medicare, and withholding tax amounts to get the total amount that they're going to be paying in the payroll register. How does this look? The payroll for the first one, example 1, determine the employer's total deposit of withholding tax, Social Security tax, and Medicare tax for the payroll register. The payroll is from June 1st through June 15th, 2012, and they have it right here in the table. They have 4 employees. They show you their gross, withholding, Social Security, employee and employer, and Medicare in their net. What are you focusing on? You are focusing on the withholding. This is where you start withholding. You must add all these together to get your total withholding that they have to pay. This is $881.62. You also focus on Social Security. Add these all up. This becomes $303.20. Also add the employer's Social Security. That one is $447.58. Medicare, add them all up, but you will always multiply by 2. That is because the employer is matching the employee in what they put in for Medicare. So that one is $104.68, but multiply it by 2. Then you add this all together right here. Add all of those up. You get a total answer of $1,841.76. So that is the employer's total deposit of withholding tax, Social Security tax, and Medicare tax for that payroll register. So now you go ahead, pause the video, try this stop and check. When you're done, come back and I will show you the answers. Okay, for number 1, it says find the total withholding tax. So we're just going to add up the first column that said, well, technically the third column, that says withholding. So 61 plus 90 plus 33 plus 53, and that gives you 237. Now find Social Security. So we add up the next column, 3108 plus 3641 plus 2646 plus 2919. This one gives you 123.14. Find the total Medicare. We add up the Medicare column, which is 1073, 1257, 914, and 1008. This gives you 42.52. Now it says find the employer's total deposit for this payroll register. We must think about all the ones we found so far. We found the 237. We found the 123.14. We found the 42.52. But one thing we're missing is the Social Security for the payroll, they haven't, the employer, I guess, Social Security. So you need to add up that and get 181.78. So this is Social Security. If we go up here, employer Social Security. If we add it, 45.88 plus 53.75 plus 39.06 plus 43.09 gives us the 181.78. So this one right here is the 181.78, which we need to remember to include. So what is our total for all of this? You take your 237 plus your 123.14 plus your 42.52 plus your 181.78 plus another 42.52 if we haven't multiplied that by 2 yet. So remember, this is times 2 to get us our total deposit of $626.96. So that's pretty simple. You just have to remember how many you're adding up. Withholding, Social Security, employer Social Security, Medicare, times 2. Add those up, you will get your total deposit. Moving on, next part of this lesson. FUTA and SUTA is how I call them. Federal Unemployment Tax Act and State Unemployment Tax Act are paid quarterly entirely by the employer. They do not affect the employee's paycheck. FUTA is 6.2% of the first $7,000 earned by an employer in a year minus any amount the employer has paid, up the SUTA up to 5.4%. The amount a company pays in SUTA will depend on a company's unemployment history. If an employer pays 5.4% in SUTA, then the company will pay 0.8% in FUTA. If the amount owed in FUTA is given quarter is less than $500, no payment is made that quarter. The amount is added to the following quarter. How does this look? So you got Melanie earned $32,500 last year and over $7,000 in the first quarter of this year. If the SUTA tax rate for her employer is 5.4% of the first $7,000 earned, how much SUTA should she pay on behalf of her? Also, how much FUTA is paid. So we can start with SUTA. How does that look? The formula is tax rate times taxable wages. The SUTA tax rate is 5.4% times her taxable wages. 0.054 times taxable wages means it's 378. Now for the FUTA. Since she paid the 5.4% on the SUTA, that means she will only pay the 0.8 on the FUTA. So it's 0.8% times taxable wages. So 0.008 times taxable wages means that it will be $56. Okay, example 3 is a little more detailed. So make sure you're zoomed in because you need a lot of space to write on this one. So we have Leak Busters, and they have 2 employees who are paid semi-monthly. Semi-monthly means twice a month or 24 paychecks. One employee earns $1,040 per pay period. The other one earns $985 per pay period. Based on the SUTA tax rate of 5.4% and the FUTA tax rate of 0.8% of the first $7,000 of each employee's annual gross pay, at the end of which quarter should the FUTA tax first be deposited? So the question here is, when are you reaching the $7,000 mark? Because you have to pay on the first $7,000 of each employee's annual gross salary. So you have to figure out, when do these employees hit the 7,000 mark, and also what their taxes are going to be. So what I like to do is I like to basically organize it into a table. So you've got employee 1 and you've got employee 2. And we're going to divide them off. So for employee 1, we're starting at the beginning of the year. They get paid semi-monthly, so you think about it, they're going to get paid January 15th and January 31st. Employee 1 makes $1,040, okay, every paycheck. Employee 2 makes $985 every paycheck. Now, the FUTA tax rate is 8% every time until you hit the 7,000 annual gross pay. So you must multiply this by 0.008 to get the FUTA of $8.32. So we're multiplying these to get this. So every single month, they're paying $8.32. How far do we go though? We need to figure out when we're going to hit 7,000. So we think about here, 1,040, 1,040. We're at 2,080 here, right? So we're not at 7,000. So we have to keep going. February 15th, they get another 1,040. They're going to pay another $8.32 in tax. This time, 2,080 plus 1,040. They're up to 3,120 so far they've made. So we got to keep going. February 28th, another 1,040, another $8.32. This time they're up to 4,160. March 15th, because I got to keep going till I hit 7,000. Another 1,040, another $8.32. They're up to 5,200. March 31st, another 1,040, another $8.32. They're up to 6,240, getting close. April 15th, another 1,040, another $8.32. We hit the mark because we're at 7,000. So we add up all of these FUTAs to say they have paid $49.92. And in what quarter is this is the question. Let's finish employee 2 and then we can answer that. So 985, and they have to pay the 0.008. Same idea. What is theirs? They're at 788. So we keep going. 788. What is our running total though? So from here they paid 1,970 in. The next month, 788, they've paid 2,955. Next month, they've paid 3,940. Next month, they've paid 4,925. Next month, they've paid 5,910. So keep moving. What are we trying to find here? Okay, so we got to keep going. 985, 788, and we're at 6,895. So then they go and they pay another 985. That's going to get us to our 7,000, but how far are they away from 7,000? Right now they're at 6,895. So 7,000 minus 6,895 gives you a difference of 105. That is all that you're actually technically multiplying by on the 0.008. So what is the tax rate for that very last paycheck? It's only 84 cents. Same thing with over here. We actually need to change this one from 832. How far are they from the 7,000? From 6240. So if we take the 7,000, subtract the 6240, we're technically only 760 apart, and that's what gets multiplied by the 0.008 and gives us for this one 608. So now if we add this column up, it is, let's think where we're at. So we have this column to be 4278. And then we have, actually, it's actually a little different than that because I'm adding the 84 cents in. But if we add this one up and this one up, the columns up, and we get it all together, how much are they paying in? It's $112 is the answer here for FUTA. Tax. Okay, try to stop and check. Pause it. Come back. I'll explain it for you. And make sure we understand it. Okay. This person makes $35,200. They made over $7,000 in the first quarter. They take 5.4% in the first $7,000 earned. How much SUTA should they pay? It's always just take the $7,000 and multiply it by your 5.4%, or 7,000 times your 0.054, which gives you $378. The FUTA, since they paid the first $7,000 within the first year, you take the $7,000 and multiply it by the 0.8%, which is technically 0.008, which is $56. So these are the simple cases. Just take your 7,000 times the standard rate of 5.4%, and then take your 7,000 and multiply it by the standard rate of 0.8%. This is where it gets fun. This is where they're asking us basically to create that table to figure out how much at which quarter will the first FUTA tax be deposited for the year, and of the companies is 5.4% of the first 7,000 for each employee. So we start our tables the same way, and we have what, 2 employees again, and we're starting at the beginning of the year. So you've got employee 1 and you've got employee 2. And then we just break it down. We start off always with January 15. The first employee makes 1,320. The second employee makes 1,275. And you must multiply by your rate to get 1056. We need to figure out when this person hits the 7,000 mark. So we just keep going. So 1,020 would make me at 2640. 1,320 again would be 3960. 1,320 again would make 5,280. 1,320 again makes 6,600. 1,320 again will definitely put me at the 7,000 mark, but again we have to say how much are we away from, so the difference between these two when we do our tax rate. So then you can fill in your dates. So we've got January 31st, February 15th, February 28th, March 15th, March 31st. That's where we're stopping. All of these will be 1056 because they're the full paycheck, till we get to the very last line and we ask ourselves, how much are we from 7,000? If the last one stopped at 6,600, we are 400 away. So you are only going to take to get this last rate 400 times the 0.008, and you should get 320. So employee 1 is done. Then we move on to employee 2. They're 1,275. When you multiply the rate of 0.08, you end up with 1020. Now do a running tally. 1,275 would make me at 2,550, 1020. Add another 1,275. Where am I at? 3,825. Not there yet. 1020. Another 1,275. Add it on. I'm at 5,100. Not there yet. 1020. Another 1,275. I'm at 6,375. Not there yet. 1020. Another 1,275. I must pause and think. If I add the 1,275 to the 6,375, am I going to reach the 7,000 mark? Your answer should be yes. So how far from the 7,000 mark am I? So I must subtract these two. End up with 625 this time, times the 0.008, and that goes here, which gives me $5. So now, first of all, at the end of which quarter must we pay the tax? So if we look here, we've got March 31st is where we're at. And if we go back up to this one, where'd we stop? April. And they both fell in the end of the what? First or second? What quarter are we at? Think about it. Okay, we need to add both of these columns up to get our amount of tax that we're paying. So when you do add up all of those columns, you should get $112. That's the first quarter tax. So the deposit should be made at the end of the fourth quarter, since it's less than $500. You think about this. If you multiply this by how many quarters are in a year, 4, you're still going to be less than $500. So it's the fourth quarter. So now this question says, how much tax should be deposited by the company with the first payment of the year? So the fourth quarter payment of FUTA tax, which we just found out above, is $112. And the FUTA tax is always the first 7,000 at 0.08. Oh, need another 0 there. Times 2, because of 2 employees, is $112, which is less than 500. Okay, so that is the lesson for today. You may start your homework or work on any back work.